Hi, this is Brad Linder with Liliputing, and this is the ZTE Blade 6, which is a phone with a 5-inch 720p display, Qualcomm Snapdragon 615 processor, and it's available starting in late February in China. And it's going to be a relatively affordable phone. It looks sort of like an iPhone, but it runs Google Android 5.0 software. Has 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of storage, and a pretty nice design, I'd say. It's a dual SIM phone here. Like I said, we've got Android 5.0. It's running a custom version developed by ZTE, so some of the applications might look a little different from your stock Android applications. But if we go in here to About Phone, you can see it does say Android 5.0 for the Blade 6. So one thing that makes it a little bit different here is you can see we've got this home screen. There's no sort of separate app door. All of the applications that are installed are right there in the front. And the camera application looks a little bit different from the stock Android camera application, but it has a 13 megapixel camera. We've got sort of autofocus here and access to a number of different settings here. Down here at the bottom, it looks iPhone-esque in that for a second there you might think, and when those blue lights go away, that it's only got a single button at the bottom, but when you tap it, we've got little glowing buttons here for actually it's not recent apps, that's for settings here, wallpaper, effects, menu, and let's see if we open up an application and tap down here in the bottom, that turns into a back screen. So we have support for folders, we have support for all your applications, and the Snapdragon 615 processor, which is a 64-bit ARMv8 processor from Qualcomm. So that's a quick look at the Blade 6. Should be available starting in late February, and this demo is brought to us by the folks at Geek Buying. Their website's going to be selling it for folks who want to buy it outside of China. So although it's a Chinese phone and it's going to be designed to work on Chinese networks, like I said, it's going to be relatively inexpensive. It might only work on some 2G networks in the United States. It might not support the bands that are available for Verizon and some others, but even at this pricing, if you used it for nothing other than Wi-Fi, it's sort of an alternative to an iPod Touch. So front and rear cameras, dual SIM cards in countries that support it. If you're traveling, you can use it with 3G in China, and runs Android 5.0 and relatively speedy, high quality camera, and so on. So that's the ZTE Blade 6, which is going to be at geekbuying.com. Anything else I should say about it? I realize I'm repeating myself. Anything else you think people need to know?
No, maybe right now, no.
Okay, so you can find more details at liliputing.com, including some photographs and pricing information when it's available.